What's this one? The real reason for Japan's declining birth rates.
Now, the number of children in Japan is at its lowest since 1950.
Births in Japan have hit a record low according to the latest government figures.
The declining birth rate is putting the future of the country at risk.
So yeah, we are facing the crisis.
Damn.
Because we have health insurance, right? So a lot of younger people is holding the older people. It's gonna get bigger.
Yeah.
In the future. And looks like our government have no solution. I'm not blaming our government because most people don't know why. But I found it. I am an antichrist. Why this is happening. So Japan's birth rate is extremely low and it's declining. It is. And many are blaming like Japanese economies and Japanese working culture and also some social pressure. There's some problem and that's related to Japanese dating culture and it's very normal in Japan and no one doubt it. But as who was born and raised in Japan and I was living for 25 years and living in Europe and the US over 10 years and I can see clearly that's the reason why. Okay, so let's talk about commonly blamed factors, okay?
The
first one is
dating
working
culture.
culture. Like people say long hours of working making dating difficult. Yes, but we have weekends, right? And
Yeah.
that's kind of excuse. But yeah, I understand. If the something I'm going to talk later is solved, they can date more easier even they're busier. And the second one is economic concern. Economy is going down and it seems too harder to buy a house, own a car and raising the kids in Japan. But it's much easier than US. Lower health insurance, right? And child care cost is pretty low and the public school is pretty cheaper compared to US and then safer. So that's not a very good excuse. And the third one, social isolation. This is very close.
Isolation.
Actually. You know, we are building like a AT field, like Evangelion. We are making a wall. We are so lonely in general.
What the fuck? What was that? An AT field is a barrier, both physical and psychological, that protects the soul and defines the individual. Huh?
We are making a wall. We are so lonely in general.
Everyday life in Japan is not the utopian fantasy land that you experience on your vacation. People are super lonely here.
Some blame like internet, manga, anime, video game. It's not. And a fewer life interaction. Yes, but why that happening, right? A quarter of Japanese adults under 40 are virgins. But why? And also another things people blame is that some social pressure, like men should be like that, women should be like that, and yes, that kind of things exist.
Well, so then they just never touch each other.
But it's not excuse, you know? You can easily find someone who has similar value, right? But the thing is that we don't have much opportunity to explore that. Why? In general, I think man has like fear of the rejection. But why that happening? Shohei Kondo, today I want to introduce ultimate unification of theory to solve this problem. It's like a string theory in the physics. The factors I explained was pretty related, but core of this is the problem. Let's talk about this today.
The core of it,
let's raise our, what is that? Birth rate. Before we talk about birth rate, we are talking about 40% of Japanese adults are virgins, and we have a lot of sexless.
40% of, this is in 2016, a study revealed that 40% of young single Japanese adults aged 18 to 34 were virgins, with 42% of men and 44.2% of women reporting no sexual experience. They're not communicating, they're not getting together.
And the people are blaming like Japanese porn industry, which is kind of ridiculous to me. Think about it. Declining.
Isn't Japanese porn like blurred out? Isn't it blurred out, censored? I think it is.
Birth rate, meaning declining the dating, right? Struggling in dating. Unlike Europe and America, dating in Japan is not that easy because our dating has unique ritual.
What the
And
fuck?
it doesn't happen naturally most of the time, and it doesn't develop naturally. And the starting idea of the romantic relationship is kind of commitment. Even before happening romantic, we need to have some commitment. People don't start going out naturally. There's some step we need to cross first. That is kokuhaku. Insane. Okay.
The act of confessing one's romantic feelings to someone with the intention of starting a romantic relationship. Oh, is this them guys that do that? I've seen some guy doing some incredible bowing and kneeling to the woman.
My statement. Kondo Shohei's statement. I
don't know
believe
that. I'm not sure.
kokuhaku culture is one of the biggest factor of Japanese decline birth
Kokuhaku.
rate. So kokuhaku culture. Kokuhaku is that one like a confession. Like you need to tell
Confession.
you like them. If you want to date someone.
So that's like such a massive step, isn't it? That's how it seems. Kukuhaku is such a big step to tell someone the confession that you like them. It's massive.
You talk nice and getting close and going out and having good time and making out and then
So what about direct? How would that be seen? If you were direct, would that be seen as disrespectful? I'm not sure. I don't know.
right? But in Japan, we don't do that. We need to like someone first. And then not just a little like a slightly higher than like and lower than love. So we need to grow
Like
some
you
likes.
really like them.
Then we need to have some surprise attack.
Surprise attack. It's like the animes.
なんだけど
何を
お前を
Like I actually like you for a long time and want to date with me. That's kokuhaku culture. Okay, I can explain how sick and mentally fuck a lot of people about kokuhaku culture is in Japan. So
God.
how long is the student until high school? Like 12 years, right? So imagine you're kids and you find someone you like, but you can't tell. And you need to find a nice, perfect timing to express your feeling to them.
Okay.
Listen, this is before asking date, right? In the meantime, you need to grow your like and one-sided love, like little by little. But most of the time, I think it's pretty creep because you're just growing your love in your own way
That's
without
what it
talking
is.
to the one, you know.
That's
And
right.
then I
That's
think
right.
most of the time, get rejected.
It's all in your mind. Because it's all in your mind. You're imagining a lot of it.
Because what kind of percentage is that? Like a random person who you crush on or crush on
Literally.
you too
Yeah.
without talking. I mean, most
Yeah.
of Japanese, when we are kids, we need to spend on that kind of toxic kokuhaku culture for 12 years. I think some people do that in college too.
Bloody
but college, like we are more easier. But
More loose,
in that
more-
12 years, we are building lack of confidence and a trauma of rejection, and also
Jesus
trauma
Christ,
of
yeah.
being honest.
Yeah, you can imagine as a kid that must be such a big thing. Especially if it's like in the culture as well. In school, it is a big thing as a kid. Anyway, it's a big thing anywhere. I would wager. You know, telling a girl you like her is quite nerve-wracking, especially for the first time. It's like the first times of your life. It's quite nerve-wracking anywhere. But if it's baked into the culture and there's a big focus on it. Oh, it's nerve-wracking as a kid.
自分に自信がないですね。女の子に
Oh, it's only coming out of one side.
それで振られちゃってもうトラウマじゃないですけど
I think that's really a problem. We are building pretty like a mental wall and a little trauma while we are kids. Almost everyone because of that culture. So
Fuck.
most of Japanese don't have natural dating process, we always have some kokuhaku. And a kokuhaku is happening. Sometimes it's a Valentine's Day, so like you need to wait like a year. It has a lot of courage to say that. Yeah,
Oh
of
my
course we
God.
have the dating app now, right? Our dating is much easier than before, but most of us have trauma of Japanese kokuhaku culture. We developed since
Jesus.
we are kids. And I look at
Oh,
kokuhaku
God.
culture, and why do we have that? So at a period, we didn't have a kokuhaku culture because our marriage was arranged, mostly the family to family. But I think it has kind of the idea of the commitment, idea of line. After marriage, we need to work on. Like after kokuhaku, we need to work on before
Yeah.
we started seeing, oh, this is okay, this is not okay, but we need to have some line. That makes sense? And then Meiji to Showa era, after we started adopting more Western culture and more democracy, like love stories in fiction became more popular, but idea of the arranged marriage was still there. I think my grandparents was arranged marriage, I think, but my
Yeah.
parents are not. Are?
Or was they?
Oh no, my parents are not. And post World War II, Showa era, the confession kokuhaku culture became very popular. Just because of TV dramas and movies. And also shoujo comics. I really don't know why, but I can guess. Japanese at the time liked, because of World War II, right? We still had a kind of romanticizing kamikaze vibe, meaning kamikaze is like you give everything to emperor and then die, right? That's same
Yeah.
things. Like you expose everything you have, how much you love her or how much
It's
you
the
love him,
final
and
thing,
then
yeah.
just jumping without feeling fear. So I think
Yeah.
Japanese at the time was attracted. That's just my guess. And in the 90s, my era, there's a lot of anime and a TV show has kokuhaku. So it feels like we
Yeah.
need to do kokuhaku to like someone because everyone is doing that.
That's
You
the
see it
way
on TV
to- yeah.
and you see it in the comics.
That's the way to show. This is the way we do it here.
It
you
doesn't
know?
make sense to me because you cannot tell if you like them or not before dating, right? There's no way. After kokuhaku, after commitment, it's like a marriage, like a small marriage, no, small arranged marriage. Man
Marriage
and woman
arranged.
has both defined expectation, but
Yeah.
they need to work on together. So I think we are still very, very traditional when it comes to dating. But I really think having that kind of rejection or holding that like a strong emotional for liking or not liked as a teenager for a long time, I think it's really not healthy. And I think that's the one of many reasons, not just for declining birth rate, but Japanese society is getting more, not conservative, but getting close, like a closing, like a Shinji in Evangelion. So because of that mentality, it's not easy to have a date, right? Meaning less sex, meaning less kids. Yes, we have a dating app now, but most of us have trauma from kokuhaku culture, right? So kind of delaying dating. Delaying meaning huge
Yeah.
opportunity of kids, having the kids, right? Because when we started dating, like used to dating after 40s, it's more difficult to having kids. And also kokuhaku confession
Definitely.
culture discouraging people from taking a risk because again, that trauma is coming from childhood, so it's not easy to change. Many of us avoiding express yourself because of fear of rejection, and
Yeah.
because of that, some of give up like dating totally.
Ah, bloody
So
hell.
here's my suggestion.
That's
So
the
it's kinda
sad thing when it's like that and you've like given up hope, so to speak. That is quite sad, isn't it?
little dangerous suggestion, but you know, like a USAID,
It is sad.
there's a rumor that they spend 2 million or 20 million to Sesame Street. I think they can do the same things. Like a Japanese government spend some money to anime production or Netflix that is making some contents for Japanese audience. That is not including kokuhaku culture. Like
Yeah.
pushing more.
So see, there's a space there. It's saying it. That's what the guy's saying. There's space there for that, for an anime or a show that is not pushing that culture. People will most likely enjoy that.
Natural dating culture because kokuhaku culture was emphasized by the media from 70s.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if you are Japanese, you don't want to have kokuhaku culture, right? I mean, kokuhaku culture has some amazuppai feeling. We said
Sweet and
like
sour.
a bitter and a sweetness. So amazuppai is like if you did some kokuhaku to someone and you got rejected, but you have a little confidence about sharing your
Yeah, or you've built up all of this courage and you're like, you know, and you're young and you're dependent, everything is dependent on it, so to speak. You're thinking, oh, this is a very serious thing in your life, and then you get rejected, then it's a hard thing to deal with as a kid. This is bad.
feeling and then feeling of moving forward or trying to find a new love. So
Yeah, it's
it
like
has
I'm not worthy
both sweetness
sort of vibes.
and then
You know,
bitterness
I'm not
and
worthy.
sourness. That's amazuppai. So we use amazuppai for fruits and also to describe some emotion or nostalgic or useful love.
Yeah.
But I think it's too toxic. If I were governor, I would suggest that. Yeah, so I believe the declining of Japanese birth rate is not about economy or working culture. It's all about how we start our relationship, and then we have a little toxic rule.
You might be
I've
right.
been thinking, but I think this is a core. But yeah, if you have some ideas, please let me know in the comment. Also, if we are Japanese, よろしくお願いします. So please let me know in the comment. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next video. Bye. Thank you for
Right,
watching.
guy.
Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, click on the left for the fun video about Japan and on the right to see more videos. You guys have a great day.
That was a great video and a great guy. I'll give him a sub, but it'll be linked in the description as always. That was a great video and interesting insight into like the Japanese a hypothesis to a reason why it could be why the decline is happening. It's an interesting perspective, interesting insight, you know, especially coming from a Japanese person who's been there 25 years. He said, I think, innit? I don't know. I can't really remember, but yeah, it's interesting. Interesting guy as well. Nice channel. Yeah, I like that one. I really like that one.